Dan Savage has been dishing out sexual advice for the last 20 years, and he reckons that monogamy is damaging our relationships, and he describes his relationship with his husband as monogamish. Dan, just what is monogamish?
Monogamish is sort of the acknowledgement that there's going to be desire for others, and there are ways to incorporate that into a relationship that is committed and is much more monogamous than not. I coined the term monogamish because, you know, as a gay couple, when we would say that we were not strictly monogamous, even other gay people would assume a degree of sort of outside sexual contact or promiscuity that appalled us. And monogamish felt like a more accurate descriptor. You know, a monogamous relationship has been described, not by me, but by a researcher, a female researcher, as a disaster waiting to happen. And our relationship, we don't have to worry about that disaster because it can't happen to us.
Presumably, though, monogamishness doesn't just happen successfully. You must have rules in place, a roster perhaps? How does it work?
A roster. I wish we did. We would draft the Dutch soccer team onto our roster. Yeah, we have very strict and particular rules. You know, it's complicated when you talk about non-monogamy, because when you talk about monogamy, it's very simple. There's one definition for monogamy. These two people, they only have sex with each other and no one else. When you talk about not monogamous relationships, they run the gamut. And so, you know, the onus is really on those of us who are not monogamous to define our terms.
Dan, isn't the danger, though, that you could actually fall in love with the other person? Sparks could happen, and suddenly, you know, that really causes a big problem.
Isn't that a danger in a monogamous relationship, too? Don't people who are in monogamous relationships sometimes cheat or fall in love with other people? What happens sometimes in closed relationships is the only way to experience, you know, that new relationship energy, the polyamorists call it, is to end your primary relationship. It's actually, I think, less destabilizing in a monogamish relationship, that spooky other, that threat of jealousy or falling in love with somebody else, because you are allowed to act on your desire to be with someone else without having to end or terminate the relationship that you're currently in.
Dan, we control other primal urges such as violence and killing or pooping on the street. Surely the desire to stray is just another urge we need to control.
You just compared sort of consensual sex, which is a loving and life-affirming thing, to pooping on the street, murder, and violence. I don't see the connection.
I do it my way, you do it your way, Dan. I'm interested. If a couple agrees to be monogamish, surely there's got to be inequality of opportunity. Like, if one is getting heaps of opportunities on the outside their relationship, surely the other has to get the same amount of opportunities to keep the fairness.
Well, not every couple is interested in both partners having exactly the same deal or the same amount of fairness. So you don't have to look at this as like ice cream being divided up between two children and it has to be exactly fair necessarily, because sometimes these accommodations in a monogamous relationship are about making sure that everybody's needs are met and everybody's happy, not that everybody's getting equal amounts of tail elsewhere.
Fair enough. Dan, you're speaking at the website. Fascinating chat. We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
And these guys were horny fucks.